Sandy Alderson has made it well known that the Mets have a priority to address the rotation this offseason, regardless if a couple current free agents return or not. And circumstances have already changed since part 1 of this topic came out, including free agents who surprisingly didn't receive qualifying offers and big-name stars recently made available through the trade market. So with options beyond what was of consideration before, here's 5 more starting pitcher targets for the Mets. At number 5, Jon Gray. Coming off of his 7th season in the bigs, all with the Colorado Rockies, Gray has entered free agency in a rather unexpected turn of events, because after deciding not to trade Gray at the past 2021 MLB trade deadline and hopes to re-sign him, even with teams like the Mets showing interest in the right-hander, the Rockies did not offer Gray a qualifying offer, and he's already turned down a recent contract extension offer. So the 30-year-old, who had his ups and downs in 2021, but has proven to be a quality fit for a team's back end of the rotation on a beyond affordable contract. And given the Mets' previous interest in Gray this past year, it shouldn't come at all of a surprise to see them tag to the right-hander once again as a depth starter with sneaky upside potential. At number 4, Frankie Montas. The A's have made it public this offseason that they intend to shed payroll, per usual, and have plenty of their talented players made available via trade, including their 28-year-old right-hander who's coming off of a career-best season. Montas, who's been in the league for 6 seasons now, showcased his first full year as a starter, including career highs in innings pitched at 187, wins at 13, strikeouts at 207, and his second best ERA at 3.37. A pitching arsenal that's X-Factor is a devastating split finger that's held accountable for 92 strikeouts and a .126 opponent batting average. It's finally all coming together for Montas to take the league by storm in the years ahead. And with control on his contract until 2024, Montas will cost a solid return asset-wise, but shouldn't be anything of concern for the potential he'll bring to the middle of the Mets rotation. Everyone should keep an eye on Frankie Montas because he might just be one of the biggest steals of a pitcher via trade this offseason. At number 3, Chris Bassitt. It only makes sense to stay in Oakland with another dominant starter made available in their 7-year veteran. And yes, just like Kevin Pillar, the 32-year-old right-hander endured a 100-mile-per-hour line drive to the face and amazingly returned to the mound just 5 weeks after his hospitalization in 2021. And Bassitt, who's only been a full-time starter since 2020, as he was previously utilized in the pen, to which he performed exceptionally well, has now taken that next step in his game and is as fresh as ever for a 32-year-old given the lack of innings he's faced to this point in his career. Coming off of a beautiful 2021 performance, including career highs in innings pitched at 157, wins at 12, whip at 1.06, and strikeouts at 159, Bassitt's 6-pitch arsenal is led by his sinker and his 4-seam fastball. And not known for his velocity, but rather his craftiness to attack pitchers in the zone and be among the league's best in walk percentage, Bassitt will come into a Mets rotation without potentially costing as much as other starters via trade, both given his age and because he's a rental with 1 year of control in his contract. So Bassitt as a number 2 or number 3 would fit awfully nice in a Mets rotation for 1 or multiple years. At number 2, Carlos Rodon. Talk about the biggest surprise to start free agency, in my opinion, as a 28-year-old Rodon was not given a qualifying offer by the Chicago White Sox, and while there was never strong belief Rodon would accept a QO, the fact that he's available for any club without them having to cough up a compensation pick and acquiring him makes us all that more head-scratching. But no less, it took Rodon's 7th MLB season to take that next step in his game, and boy was it something. An elite southpaw with career highs in every statistical category, Rodon put on a clinic that would have easily had him in line for AL Cy Young potentially had he not suffered a shoulder injury. Health has always been the biggest concern for Rodon, unfortunately, in his career, which leaves his free agent market in a very interesting spot. And if he can stay on the mound, there's no doubting that Rodon has the potential to continue being one of the best pitchers in baseball for years to come. So a Mets rotation featuring a flame-throwing southpaw who commands a filthy slider to back up Jacob deGrom would truly take this team to another level pitching-wise, something the Mets have completely focused on heading into 2022. At number 1, Luis Castillo. Just like the Oakland A's, the Cincinnati Reds have made it well known that their motive this offseason is to build for the future, leaving all their top talents available via trade, including their 28-year-old ace. And having finished his 5th MLB season, Castillo put up a respectable sub-4 ERA, which you would have never thought of after having a 7+ ERA for the first couple months of the season. The Mets have been connected to Castillo going back to last offseason as a potential trade target, and you can expect them to be in the running once more, as there's a willingness by the Reds to get a trade done like never before. What really separates Castillo from other stars on this list is his availability, having pitched between 170 to 190 innings each of the last 3 full MLB seasons. A multi-pitch arsenal that's led by one of the best fastballs in the game at 97+ miles per hour, and arguably the best changeup that's used more than any of his other pitchers that holds the most strikeouts at 82. With numerous teams in on Castillo this offseason, and with a contract that doesn't expire until 2024, he's sure to cost an absolute haul of a deal, so it's hard to believe the Mets would be able to land the right-hander without coughing up prospects in the 3 to 5 range, but the Mets do have multiple players on their roster with years of control that could be parted with, as we've discussed in previous videos. So whether the Mets would be able to win the Castillo sweepstakes versus clubs with more prospect capital has yet to be seen, but if they're really trying to prioritize this rotation to have continued success in the years to come, Castillo is right at the top of the list as an ace who wouldn't even be their number one, paving the way for a rotation that's set to dominate 2022 and beyond. And that'll wrap things up for this video, folks. I hope you guys did enjoy. Make sure again to check out part 1 of this topic that we discussed on the channel already. Links in the description as always, because if you're wondering why I didn't mention a certain starting pitcher in this video, odds are I probably talked about them in the last video. And even if I didn't, make sure to then let me know in the comments who exactly that pitcher is. But again, guys, if you ended up enjoying this kind of Mets content and you want to see more great Mets content like this all throughout the offseason and beyond, make sure to smash that like and subscribe button, sharing this video with your friends, button the notification bell. All those great things. Thank you all so much for the continued support. Help us get to 10K subs, and I'm out of here. Let's go Mets, baby.